Earth is facing an unprecedented crisis, climate change, with rising temperatures, desertification, melting ice caps, and extreme weather events becoming more frequent. World leaders are under increasing pressure to take action to mitigate the effect of this global phenomenon. From Paris to Dubai, leaders are gathering to negotiate agreements and implement policies aimed at reducing greenhouse gas emissions and protecting our planet for future generations. But amidst this global effort, how are local communities and governments responding to the call for action? In Adamawa State, located in northeastern Nigeria, Governor Ahmadu Umaru Fintiri has made combating climate change a cornerstone of his administration. Recognizing the urgent need for action, Governor Fintiri has integrated environmental sustainability into his 8-point agenda, with a focus on preserving the state's natural resources and mitigating the impacts of climate change.
We are gathered today to take a significant step towards underlining our commitment to preserving our environment and addressing the challenges posed by climatic change. We are here to flag off the planting of trees, partly as a direct response to a pronouncement early this year to ban the felling of trees for charcoal production throughout the state.
One of Governor Fintiri's key initiatives has been the ban on the felling of trees for charcoal in Adamawa State, a move welcomed by climate change activists and environmentalists alike. This bold step aims to curb deforestation and protect the state's valuable forest ecosystems.
Our ministry is saddled with a responsibility to protect the environment of Adamawa State at large, and then to make sure that we have a greener environment, a fresh air for everyone to breathe, a blue cloud, and what have you.
Climate change is an all-pervasive environmental issue that affects almost all places. But in Adamawa State, we have a lot of peculiarities because of Adamawa being an agrarian state. So the effect is much in Adamawa State because it affects virtually all forms of our livelihood, agriculture, water resources, and it has given rise to a lot of other issues that are associated with our aspirations for development.
Okay, AgriSAL is an acronym for Agroclimatic Resilience in Semi-Arid Landscapes. AgriSAL has enjoyed so much government support in Adamawa especially, and the state governor has provided an enabling environment for AgriSAL for us to be innovative here, and this is shown in what we've done in the past 1 year. So we try to address the issues of climate change through the environment, and then the relation, and also we also looked at the relationship between the environment and water resources and agriculture, because the two of them work hand in hand. So we did an afforestation drive. Generally, states, everyone does afforestation, but in Adamawa we did something unique last year through the advice of the governor. He admonished us to ensure that whatever we do in the communities has to be driven by the communities. So our approach to afforestation was community driven. And we were the only state in Nigeria that did a community-driven approach to afforestation. And what does it entail? The community-driven approach entails that the community were in charge of all the processes of the activity. So what we did as a project was to go to these communities, identify the land that needed to be reforested. We mapped it, and then we mapped stakeholders from the communities. We brought them to Yola, the state capital. We sensitized them. We went back to the society, to the communities. We did engagements, several engagements, for them to understand what the importance of what and the significance of what government was intending to do, not for us, but for them. So, and then in our engagements with them, we also provided a platform where they told us the issues they've been facing in the environment. So they brought out issues like desertification, erosion, increasing floods, and then through our interactions with them, they provide solutions to this. One of them was afforestation. So we now bought seedlings, gave them to plant, and paid them to plant. We are still paying them to nurture and to secure. So, and this is born out of the fact that we need them to own these activities, and then to also ensure that what we do in the communities is sustained even after the project. So we did afforestation on 1,500 hectares in gazetted forest reserves across the state. So every local government, depending on the level of what we got on ground, so local governments, we did 50 hectares, some 100 hectares, but we did 1,500 hectares community-driven afforestation across the state.
Okay, immediately after the ban, we met with the HE, and then he asked us to before the ban, he asked the ministry to find an alternative source of energy where all the households will be using before the ban. Then we after contacting all the institutions of learning and the research, that's all the federal universities and then the universities that we have, we brought about the researchers, and then they sat down and then they found out that, okay, briquette is the way to go for the ministry, and then we now bring in all the people that we think that we can help to alleviate the suffering. Okay, what we did was, one, briquette is new to our people. Okay, what are the material being used for fabricating and making or producing that briquette? Is the things that our people are throwing away, not unknowingly, that these are the source of energy that we are looking for. So the researchers sat with the ministry and then find out the possible ways and the simplest way of making that briquette. So as I'm telling you now, we have at different local governments the factories that are saddled purely for making briquettes, and then we brought about women in hundreds and thousands to teach them how these briquettes are being produced, and then not only for them to go and be using in their households, no, but for them to go in the other areas to now teach the other people. It's like train the trainers. So this is what the first step that the government has done. And then the government also procured these stuffs which are environmentally friendly, that you can be using even in the inner houses. So it's smokeless, and then it's efficient, and then at the same time it will be used inside the rooms. So the government procure around 20 or 30,000 stuffs for us to come and then reassemble them, study from the stuffs, and then see how we can improve some values, and then teach our people how they can mold in themselves, and then be using it to our people.
You see, whatever policy statement that is done by the government is for the benefit of the people. There's no way you can achieve the benefits if you didn't key in. My own call in my capacity as a spokesman of the Adamawa State Police Command, who can go down the ladder and enforce such orders, we like to call on members of the public, especially on the area of this cutting of trees, that they should key into that. They should be very obedient to that directives, and they can equally give police timely information with regard to those that are going behind to commit such, believing that if we are all on the same page, we are going to achieve whatever that is designed for the state. So we call on members of the public, in order for you not to be apprehended, so just obey the laws of the land, respect the traditions of the land. Together we can have a better Adamawa state.
I engage with the community, to sensitize community on the dangers of afforestation or deforestation, you call it, where trees are just being felled unnecessarily for making firewood, for making charcoal, for cooking. You can see these days, of recent I can say, all the forests we have around has been depleted. You can stand here and see Japilamba because there's no forest. And this has serious effect on our livelihood, on our animals and whatnot. Even our farms may usually be affected. When you come to human beings, of course trees are very beneficial to us. They give us oxygen and they give us a lot of things, even medicine or whatnot. Now most of the trees have been felled, and you see on the onset of the rainy season, you find that there are windstorms which are damaging our houses, damaging our crops, damaging our lands by encouraging erosion and so on, because there are no trees. So trees are very important. For animals, you find that because of the felling of trees and change of find that there's intense heat. These days, you find the temperature rise up to 40-45 degrees centigrade during this time. This is associated with deforestation or afforestation.
For instance, if you look at climate security challenges that we have in Adamawa State prior to the coming of this administration, has so much to do with access to environmental resource, which is as a result of a climate change which limit the availability of the resource and also limit access to those resources. So the opportunities that we have is that of reversing some of the effects of climate change and ensuring a sustainable environment that will support our development aspiration. And the present administration, I think, have keyed into that with appraisal and a lot of other environmental programs that aims at first repositioning Adamawa to have a sustainable environment that will support its development aspiration, and also to reverse some of the ugly consequences of climate change and environmental degradation that we are witnessing in the state.
So we sensitize people to plant trees in their farms, in their houses, to replenish the trees that were felled. And even government is encouraging us by making laws. Recently, His Excellency the Governor of Adamawa State, Honorable Fintiri, has passed a law that nobody should fell tree, and nobody should fell tree to make charcoal. And we are making sure that this law is being enforced everywhere to make sure that the conservation of our environment is encouraged.
In Adamawa State, Governor Ahmad Umar Fintiri and dedicated individuals and organizations are leading the charge in the fight against climate change. Through visionary leadership, grassroots activism, and collaborative efforts, they are forging a path towards a more sustainable and resilient future for all. Thank you for watching. See you next week.
Muna nan